those who really need to know that the media is not just reading their mind, they're actually talking to their loved across the world. Evidence provides facts, details, and simply past that the media couldn't possibly know. And it needs to not be just generic. These need to stand out and call them authorities. Especially when they say that the reputation is real, unless it's a step in that was questionable, powerful, and just said are felt both masculine and feminine. And they said, Fortnite, consciousness of gods, both masculine who are here to help you our burdens of wickedness in Google called us Sanaya. So what do I do as soon as I come out of meditation? I Google Sanaya to see what it means, and it's a Sanskrit name that means eminent, distinguished, and of the gods. But it also means one word, which I thought was a pretty cool name. So this neighbor, my friend, she said, I found a different meaning for person. It's passion. So right there we have this amazing connection between source and I said for Saturday lying in bed, I woke up right I knew by then that this means there's a spirit here. And when I asked, who are you? I said, I knew this is their spirit.
Amateurs are like, maybe she's getting some sort of message from the church, some sort
And I said, aren't you? So, hoping that I wouldn't wake up, I leaned over and I just started writing. And he said he was sharing. I turned the page as a paper with wolf's paper, and I knew that every time I turned a page, I'm making noise, but I just stayed quiet beside me. And I got more and more excited as I was giving this information because they were really unusual pieces of evidence. He was talking about hieroglyphics and druids and showing me spirals and talking about things that were not your ordinary kinds of evidence that I get in readings. He told me he was Mike Jr., and I realized to that point I didn't know what his real name was. I only knew him as Wolf. He talked about chiseling in stone. I could feel his personality, how kind he was, but I could tell he was a loner. He showed me a fish mouth and gave me the awareness that he wouldn't even want to hurt a fish with a hook. He tried to give a word to me, and I wasn't sure what he was getting across, but I wrote down what it sounded like, and it sounded like pajamas. So I wrote pajamas, pajama. He showed me a red radio flyer wagon. He emphasized the wheels. He emphasized the peace. And when he ripped them away, he made this symbol underneath the sign languages, the I love you sign, and truly emphasized that. And then he showed me all these things. I knew that he wanted these messages delivered to his parents, but these part, that was on a grand scale. All in all, he gave me 46 pieces of evidence and said, how did my parents score this? I was really excited about this because I wasn't getting any feedback from his parents, and nobody could say that I was reading their minds.
Vicky, how do you put YouTube on this?
You just click on YouTube.
Yeah, but show me.
There's not the TV, it's the app.
That was crazy. But he couldn't stop the flow.
It's right there.
Is
Is it in the wall? Can you scroll?
The other dimension. He was in both in both worlds at once, all the time. Like he couldn't turn it
You
off.
scroll now.
It's like right over there.
Here, he says.
Can you
What do you
scroll?
Can you scroll? Well, no, because I don't want to scroll, but yeah, you can scroll. Of course, the key control.
Was in both worlds and unable to function in the normal baseline.
No, you have to do the pinch thing. You know the pinch?
Pinch, yeah.
Look, make it so it goes to like where the down arrow thingy is, and then you pinch, and then it'll make it.
Them raise their energy by connecting our hearts, and then I ask them to join me in sending love to the levels of spirit. I literally picture them merging into personality and start sharing with their lovers here. And it was that hiding with us flows, and Luke was showing the images of writing, just not just poetry. All kinds of words, drawings. I saw triangles. He showed me triangles, all kinds of shapes. He showed me all those was on the papers. You talk about the poems. He showed me snippets, loose paper, but you're gathering. Missing papers, everywhere. And that's how he wrote. He would write on whatever prepared out of a notebook. It was never orderly. It was just papers everywhere. He's saying, thanks for keeping it simple. He says, thank you for keeping us. Thanks for the word safe. Does that make sense? And just like that, what was a great validation was later Mike sent me a photo of Wolf doing exactly that and saying it was very busy and had never felt a more powerful spirit than reading. And I could feel that Wolf was this immensely kind and gentle soul. Wolf told me that he was wired differently, that he controlled school and couldn't hold a job. All of these things were validated by Mike.
Reading towards
It said she heard from Wolf that he was getting people on the other side, especially young people, commit suicide. I had just done 3 readings in a row with mothers whose sons committed suicide. He can also say that to come and live the life he lived and go through those difficult teenage years to understand how they had trouble fitting into society. Process. It took him he had completed his mission. He struggled to fit into the able to mainstream school systems and follow their rules. Focus on hours since somebody was struggled to fit into the norm of society. Talked about the mindfulness, and just like that, I expect the drops to hours, be part of the grand idea. And again, show me more figures from sacred geometry, the spirals and the triangles. And I knew that there was some message in there. He was getting to the fact that it was all about this. A friend of mine who went to a detective who discovered that there was a movie about a radio flyer ride that was all about the desire to go. Will said, the way I passed being struck by lightning was so that others will pay attention, and that we're supposed to share his story. Wolf told me that he was tethered to the other side and couldn't stop the flow, that he was not of this world. He was diagnosed mentally ill because of the voices he heard, because of his inability to stay in the classrooms, behaviors. I know he brought it up so that he would have greater empathy for those diagnosed with mental illness and comes to see it in a new light, that maybe some people are just in two worlds at once. He was constantly channeling on the other side these others who just did not know how to deal with all that information coming in. I couldn't believe that because the person I was feeling from across the veil was the most powerful spirit I had ever encountered to that point. It gave us a new perspective on mental illness. Not all that are diagnosed mentally ill are truly sick. There are people like him who said that are just channeling higher vibrations constantly. The thing that I love about him is that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He was a loving human being. Everyone describes him as kind, loving, and compassionate. And he was creative. And he was a poet. And he had all this. It's like this and it's like